I think I made one for myself. Somebody open the one that said Sean, by chance? No. That's okay. No, that's okay. Well, here, I'll click on yours and we'll find out. Nope, no, you're on that one. I'll just make a new one. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Give me a second here. All right. So if I place a photo, if I have a photo that's placed using Picture Placer, so I'm going to just place a photo really quick. Wow, Art Team demo pick. This is awesome. Look at all this stuff. Is it okay if I choose Arts Team demo picks? Is there some?
Yeah, whatever.
All right.
You find stuff in there.
I'm just excited that there might be stuff in there. So let's do this. Let's just use demo picks. All right. So if I have a photo that's on the page, like that's placed, and I go, hey, I want to place a different image. So it's on the page. So all I do is I click on Picture Placer. And I'm going to place it first, and then I'll show you how to take it off. Sorry. Perhaps. All right. So I have this photo on my page. Option one would be I could click on it and I would hit delete. That's not the best option because then you have to go through the time of recreating it. So to take it off the page or to replace it with a different photo, you click on Picture Placer again. And then if I wanted to replace it, if I want to put a different photo in it so I know what's going to go in it, just drag it on top of it. If I want to get rid of it, just hit your delete key. And then what it does is, so let's say I don't have a photo, but I want the design to still be on the page. So I would hit delete, it would clear it out, and then it puts the photo back to where it was before. Everybody good with that?
Got it.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's put a design on the page that's more than just a single photo box. Have all of you done like, have you just put a photo on the page like is there anything like we can't clean off right now? Like just hit, if I tell you to just hit delete, or is there anything like, everybody okay? Okay, all right, so let's do this.
I'm pretty much like done with my practice page. Like we've been assigned a practice page, so if I deleted it, it would be like deleting a lot of work.
Okay, all right, then I don't.
Same for me.
Okay, so that's okay. So let's do this then, because my practice page is different than yours. So here's what I want everybody to do. How many people do we have how many people do we have total on the call?
Like 27.
Okay, then we're not going to go through this. So let's do this. It's going to scare me a little bit, but we're going to give it a try. Here's what I want you to do. I want everybody to click on the button that says Page Wizard.
Okay.
Okay. You're never going to have to do this again, but we're going to give it a shot right now. See where it says Create New, and you're going to choose Spread. And I want you to choose the same. I want you to choose Deadline 99. Okay. And on the starting page number, Ms. Kohanam, you're going to have to assign pages, and I want you to start at like 600. So,
okay.
So let's say yours is 600. Okay. And then can I see everybody here? Is there a place I can see the list? Let me see here. All right, here we go. All right. It just shows like everybody's initials. So let's do this. Kohanam, you're gonna be 600.
Okay.
Kate, you're gonna be 602. Okay. And as I'm telling you this, I want you to just hit OK. Like, does that make sense? So Deadline 99, put the number that I'm telling you, and then just put your name. Okay.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So Riley, you're going to be 604. Nicholas, you're going to be 606. Am I going to say this? Sanjna? I don't want to. I'm going to butcher somebody's name. Is it Senja?
It's Sanjna.
Sanjna, thank you. You're like, it's phonetically exactly how it says. I apologize. I want you to be 608. And then Madison, I want you to be 610. So as I'm telling you this, put it in and hit the OK button. Okay. Emma, I want you to be 612. Caitlin, I want you to be 614. Peyton, I want you to be 616. Amanda, I want you to be 618. Shyla, I want you to be 620. Emmeline, am I saying that correctly?
Yes, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay, I want you to be 622. And Ansley, I want you to be 624. Did I see there's 5? It says there's 5 more. Who did I miss? Oh, Ben, the 5 on the screen. Isabella, I want you to be
the page number thing to pop up.
You click on Page Wizard, and then there's an option at the top where it says Create New. It's up here. It's my screen, right here at the top. So Page Wizard, which is right here, up here under Page Tools on the Monarch Tools, Create New, Spread, Deadline 99, and then you're going to put in that page number in the field below that I gave you. And then you're going to put in the description, which would be your name. Does that make sense? Yes?
Yes. Wait, I forgot what my number was.
That's okay. We'll skip on this. I'll give you a number. I want you to do 628.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, hold on. Let me get through this. I'll come. Well, what's your question?
My InDesign page is like saying that it can't communicate and then I have to close out any dialog boxes. So I closed out the whole thing and then I restarted it and the same like pop-up still happening, but it's not letting me like
Hit the escape key.
Escape. Okay. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. All right. Isabella, did I give you a number? Okay, so I want you to do 630. Ben, I want you to do 632. Ella, I want you to do 634. Gabriella, I want you to do 636. And if this thing was not say, is it Lindsay? Is that right? I want you to do 630. What did I say? What was the last one? 636, 638?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been using a Word document because like the thing doesn't work.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Man, we got to get you something. How many are using this? Like how many people are having this issue?
5.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If we have to figure, I'll figure something out. I don't know if we have to.
It's also, Sean, it's one of my editors too, so it's
Right.
a big deal.
And it's on the server. They don't have Chromebooks, do they? They're not giving.
No, it's a Surface issue.
Okay. No, but what I'm saying is the school doesn't issue Chromebooks. It's everybody's a Surface, right? Is that
Correct. Yeah.
all right? We'll figure it out. I'll figure something out. give me through the weekend, and I'll get something for you.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then Ms. Kohanam, did you get one? Did I give you a number already?
Yeah, I've got mine open. I'm 600.
All right. Everybody got a number, right?
I didn't get one.
Who's that?
Nicole? I don't have a number.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to have you do 640. Who was the first one that said they didn't have one?
Nicole.
Nicole, go do 640. And then who else?
I don't have a number.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed you there, Amanda. You're right on my screen. 642.
I don't have a number either.
All right. Who's that?
Samina.
You got to say your name so they would say. Because all.
Oh.
Who said they don't?
Oh, Laura.
No.
Laura.
Laura, you're going to be 642. I hadn't give that to anybody yet, did I? Okay. Anybody else?
I don't have a number. My name's Amina.
644.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Meg.
646.
We've got a big staff, Sean.
No, it's totally cool. No, I'm going through this on my screen and I'm trying to make sure I get it right. Did I miss anybody else? No? Fantastic. All right. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So I want everybody, so now that your page is open, I want you to go over where it says page tools. Okay. And I want you to click on the second button over that says page surfer. Did y'all get there?
Yep.
Okay, at the very bottom, there's one where it says category. I want you to click on that category and it's going to give a pop-up, and I want you to choose clubs and organizations.
How are we opening the new page? I'm so confused.
Okay. So
I think I got lost.
all right, I think you may have two, but that's totally okay. Do you have the Jostens tools up here, the Monarch tools? You see that toolbar?
Yes.
The very first button right below page tools is called Page Wizard. You're going to click on that. It's the same one that you would click on if you were opening, but we're going to have you create one, if that makes sense. Okay, did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, over on the left-hand side where it says create new, do you see that button? That little checkbox?
Yes.
Okay, create new, you're going to choose spread. You're going to choose deadline 99. Okay, do you remember your page number that I assigned you?
640.
Perfect. You're going to type in 640, and under the description, you're going to put your name. And then you're going to hit the OK button.
It says this spread already exists.
Okay, how about this one? Put in 650.
That worked.
Fantastic. By the way, as far as creating pages, it's never going to be something you have to do again. Like there will come a point where I'll click a button and it's going to make your whole book. But for learning this, we have to create practice pages. So don't feel like this is something you have to burn a lot of calories on understanding. Okay, does that make sense for everybody? So don't get overwhelmingly concerned. Okay, so to pull up the page surfers, the second, so under the page tools on the Monarch, the second button over is called Page Surfer. And then at the bottom of that, there are categories. I want you to choose the one that says clubs and organizations. So you click on the little pop-up here and choose clubs and organizations.
When I click on clubs and organizations, it says could not find server thumbnails.
You know what?
Yes.
I just got
It
says the same
yeah.
for me.
I just got the same error message, so we're going to choose a different category. Let's do this. Click on that's going to be a call from tech support to tech support from Sean. Let's try this under ambition under the pop-up. Let's try opening and dividers. Those aren't coming up either. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to move forward into something else. That's great. Okay. Let's talk about your text tools here. Over on the left-hand side, you have a set of tools. You see these going down here on the left-hand side? Everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did I talk about the window menu yet early on? Did we talk about window menus?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So like we talked about the menus at the top, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So the tools over here on the left-hand side, your selection tool selects objects. Everything on the page is an object. Okay. If you look up here on your object menu and you come down to where it says content, it gives you three choices of content: text, graphic, text, and unassigned. So when you're looking at a yearbook page, if you see a photo on the page, like let's say you see like the football player from earlier, the rectangle is an object. It's three-dimensional. The content would be a photograph. Does that make sense? So don't think in terms of what the content is. It's just simply a shape, and it's like three-dimensional. It would hold like a graphic. So there's three options for each object. Okay, so your selection tool selects objects. So you've got your selection tool, direct selection. Did we go through this the other day? I you'll correct
Yeah,
me.
so like especially the different mice, like there are different mouse ones, the triangles. I
Okay.
think that some explanation there will be helpful.
Okay, so watch. So I don't want you to do this. I'm gonna put this on my page. So here is a rectangle. Okay. The very top one is your selection tool. Your selection tool selects objects. If I put a photo in this box, it is an object and the content is a photograph. If I, let's see here. Sorry, here, type. If I have a text box, okay, this, and everybody see what I have selected?
Mm-hmm.
This is an object and the content is text. Okay. Does that make sense? So you have, if you look under your object menu, you go object and content, you can see there are only 3 types of content. So you have text, graphic, and unassigned. Okay. So you have to think like almost like 3-dimensional, like think of a trash can. Okay. A trash can is 3-dimensional, but it is also a container. So it's in InDesign, the container can only contain 3 types of content: graphics, text, or nothing, which would be unassigned. Okay. Does that kind of make sense to everybody? If it doesn't,
I have a question.
Yeah.
How did you get the text box in?
yeah,
What did you click for that?
yeah, I'll come back. I didn't do it so you could do it. I did it so you could see the illustration of text. I'll show you how to do that. Give me 1 second, okay? So
Okay,
what I need you to understand that it's a rectangle or a circle or a triangle, and it has 3 types of content. The 3 types are text, graphics, or nothing. Does that make sense? Like, it's super important. You have to break it down to very, very basic terms. So it's not a photo of a football player. It is a rectangle and it has the content, and the content is a graphic. The subject matter is irrelevant to the way that the program works. Does that make sense from an explanation standpoint? Okay. All right. So let's do this. So on the different tools that we have your selection tool, okay, which selects objects. Your direct selection tool selects objects, anchor points. Like, they're 2 very different tools. The black one at the top is the selection tool. The one just below it that's white is called the direct selection tool. It's not the cursor thing, the mouse thing, the black triangle. They have names, just like all of you have names. And it's important that you're using that name, because if you ever have a question or you call me up or on a Zoom call and it's like, I'm using the thingy tool to select the box. I'm like, what? Okay. Does that make sense? So it has a name. Okay. So the top tool, and if you'll notice, if you put your cursor on it, it will tell you the name. So this is the selection tool. You move down, you have the direct selection tool. Okay. The page tool, you're not going to use. It's the 3rd one down. Skip over it. Don't burn calories on it. Don't click on it. The gap tool, okay. The gap tool is referring to the gap spacing. I just want you to see this. I don't need you to do it. I want you it won't make sense if I have you try to do it. The gap refers to the space in between 2 objects. Do you see how it maintains that spacing? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so the gap tool is referring to the spacing in between objects. Okay. You're not going to use it a ton right now, but it's very helpful if you have 2 boxes next to each other and you want to maintain a 1 pica or a half a pica spacing. So that's what that tool does. Okay. Your content collection tool, we're not using that either. So don't click on it. It's the next one down. The next tool down we are going to use, this is your type tool. You'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner of your type tool, see that little kind of arrow that drops down? See that little in the bottom corner? You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anytime you see that little arrow, it means there's a sub-menu of other tools. Okay. So you click and hold on your type tool. The other option is the type on a path tool. Okay. I'm going to create a rectangle here on my page, right? And I don't want you to do this. I just want you to see. This is a Ben. Tell me what this is. Ben, are you there?
The photo box.
Nope, nope. This is the hard part. This is an object. Yes, we have the fill color set to process color photo, but it is simply an object. Does that make sense? So don't try to think 4 steps ahead. Think in basic terms. This is simply an object, and the fill color of this object is set to process color photo, meaning we're going to put a photo in it, but it is currently just an object, and the content is nothing, right? You don't see a photo, you don't see text. Does that make sense? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the outer lying edge of an object is what is called a path. If you click on your type tool, you'll notice there's a typing on a path tool. I don't want everyone to do this. I just want you to see what this tool is. The path is the outer lying edge of an object. Remember how I talked about how your cursor tries to talk to you? Notice how when I change tools, when I put the type on a path tool on the edge of an object, a little plus sign shows up. You all see that?
Yes.
Okay. What that means is, hey, you've selected the type on a path tool. You have moved your cursor and you've moved this tool on the edge of a path. If you click, your cursor is flashing, and this is what would allow you to type around the edge of an object. Does that make sense? That's what this tool does.
That's cool.
Okay. So, this is a, let me see who else is on here. Let me call out some names here. What you're seeing on my screen, this is a what, Ella? Tell me what that is. Tell me what this is, Ella. Can you unmute?
You're pointing to the object, right?
Perfect. Yes, it is an object. You just answered it correctly. By the way, 90% of the answers to my question is going to be the word object. little trick question. Okay. And the reason this is important is if you can do something to one object, you can do it to any object. Okay. So I've got I'm going to keep going down these. The next tool down is your line tool. I kind of joke about this. Someone at Adobe got paid a lot of money to name this. It makes lines. Okay. The reason you can't see this line is because I have the fill color on instead of the stroke. You can't see, there is no such thing as a fill on a line. There is only, there's only a stroke. Okay. When I click on this line, tell me what this is. Anybody?
Object.
You are correct. It is an object. If I wanted to type along this line, I would come over to my type tool and go down to my type on a path, bring it over to the edge, and this is exactly how I would type along that path. It doesn't have to be where you can see it to type along the path. It may be none. Does that make sense? So one object is the same as another object. There's no difference in terms of what I can do to one or the path or anything like that. Okay. We're going to kind of skip through here. You have your pen tool. You'll notice there are different tools in here. A common question, if anybody is interested in it, on my pen tool, I have an add anchor point and a delete anchor point. On this object that I have created, you see these points around the edges. And when I change to my direct selection tool, see how the corners change? So selection tool, see how they're open squares? The direct selection tool, it just shows the anchor points. You see what I'm talking about? The variation between the two? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So if I go down to my add anchor point, delete anchor point, if I go to my delete anchor point tool and I delete this corner, I now have a right triangle. Not to say this is super important unless you want to make a right triangle. Also, you can add anchor points. What am I adding anchor points to? The path of an object. Okay. So see how the little plus sign shows up here, my add anchor point, and you can add anchor points and vectors to the path. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I click and add an anchor point, now, and I may just want to add just a quick point, but if I click and drag on that point, it creates vectors more like a like Illustrator.
So Sean, if we wanted to, instead of filling that object with a picture, we could use that and fill that object with color and use it as like a background, right?
Yep, with color, you could put, I mean, and I'm about to get back to this. Actually, you're a good segue. I'm going to bring you along. We're going on a road show.
Here we go.
But yeah, to answer your question, it is yes. If I come over to my pencil tool, okay, I'm just going to click on my pencil tool and I'm going to draw here really quick. Okay. It's not very pretty, but tell me what this is over here that I just drew with my pencil tool.
An object?
You are correct. It is an object. Okay. So we're going to go down. So you'll notice under your pencil tool, there's a pencil, smooth tool, erase tool. The erase tool, the smooth tool and erase tool, it has to do with smoothing out or erasing anchor points. It's not talking about content or photos. Those are functions of Photoshop.
Could you do the same thing, like the anchor point thing? Could you do that with a text box to make like a text box like longer in one spot and shorter in the other spot?
I'm totally bringing you along for the road show because that's exactly what I'm going to show you. So what I want you to do is we're going to go down. So there's a tool called the rectangle frame tool. Okay. And for yearbook and for what we're doing and I'll tell you what the tool does. It creates rectangles and different shapes. But the X inside of it, if you were working in publication and you didn't have like a Monarch toolbar, what this does is in your design, it's how you say, hey, a photo is going to go inside this box. It creates it puts an X in the center of it. Okay. But because we're using Picture Placer and the plugins we're using, we're not going to use this tool. I cannot stress this enough. Don't use the rectangle frame tool. Okay. Or the submenus. Okay. What we will use is if you go just below the rectangle frame tool, the solid frame, the one that's just below it here. If you click on that, there you'll see that there are 3 choices inside it: rectangle, ellipse, and polygon. Okay. Oftentimes when I talk about an ellipse, people go, a circle. That's an ellipse that's equal on all 4 sides, just like a square is a rectangle equal on all 4 sides. Okay. So if I'm going to click on my rectangle tool and I click and drag, okay. So instead of having my fill color as process color photo, did we talk about swatches and colors at all the other day?
Yeah, we talked about how to get to our palette.
Okay, perfect. All right. So right now this object, the fill color is set to process color photo. So I'm going to change it where the fill is set to paper. And then I'm going to change my stroke to where it's black. You'll notice that there's one that says registration and one that says black. Do not use registration. It is not, although visually it looks like the color black. If it is not spelled BLACK, it is not black. Okay, so I'm just going to choose the one that says black. Okay. So I've created a rectangle on my page. If I want to create an ellipse, just change tools.
Hey, Sean, for some reason, I'm looking at on my screen.
Yeah.
I don't see our color palette.
I haven't
Am I
loaded.
dumb? Oh, okay, no, then I'm not dumb. I just want to make sure I wasn't wrong. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I
Okay,
could.
okay.
Do you know? Is that file in the newspaper? Did I put it in there?
I don't know.
Hold on. I'll tell you where it's at. Give me 1 sec. I did have it in there, like that style guide that I set up that I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, here's what I want you to do. I'm gonna have everybody, we'll just load those colors.
Okay.
Everybody, do y'all have your swatches palette open? Can you pull that up? If you can't get it up, tell me and I'll walk through the steps to get there. Window, color, and then swatches. It's probably already over on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
You guys get that? Yes? Anybody not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got it.
Okay, cool. In the upper right-hand corner, and this is a good segue here into some different things. In the upper right-hand corner on that swatches palette, you'll see those 3 little lines. Do you guys see that?
Yep.
You're going to click on that drop down. Okay. And I want you to go to where it says load swatches. Everybody see that?
Yep.
And it's going to pull up like a browse. Come up here to where it says Team Drive. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Open up the newspaper folder. And there's one that says 21 Style Guide Milton.
Yep.
Click on that file, hit open, and it'll load those colors.
I already had
Didn't
those
work for
colors
me.
loaded in, so do I not have
No,
to do?
Yeah, if you already have them, don't worry about it. That's fine.
It showed up an error message for me.
Same.
What'd it say?
Like cannot load swatches from selected document. Either this is not InDesign document or the document is damaged.
I don't think you chose the right folder. You clicked on where it says 2021 Style Guide Milton,
Yeah.
and then what happened when you said open?
It didn't even give me the option to open. It just automatically popped up.
Try it, guys. Try it again, because I got that same error message, and then I did it again, and it worked for me.
I think it's because we're all
Yeah.
trying to load them from the same
Yeah.
document at once.
Yeah. So try it again, because it's working for me now.
If we can go in numeric sequence. I'm not used to having everybody loaded at once, so.
Yeah, we are a large class.
No, well, it's not that. It's just it's like every I mean, there are not many environments when I'm working in design where I'm like, hey, all 27 of you. Like
Right.
that would make it sound very strange because there's just me in the room. So yeah.
It worked now.
Okay, great. All right, so I lost my train of thought on the. Okay, so we have the color swatches over here. So if you create a rectangle and you go to your swatches palette, you'll notice up here at the very top of your swatches palette, there's a solid block and a little like a frame around the edge. Okay, this is your fill and stroke. The fill on your object is the solid color in the center. The stroke is the frame around the edge. So if you want to change those colors, you'll notice fill and stroke is here. See these colors that I'm going to add a different color for my fill. See how it's the red and the black right up here? Okay. You'll notice up at the top on my control bar, hey, this looks the same. Yeah, it's the same tool in a different place. Over on the left-hand side on my tools down here, see how it shows that black and that red? If it looks like the same tool in InDesign, it is the same tool. They put it in 3 different places. Why? I don't know. Probably because feedback they had. So if I wanted to, so if I select my object, whichever is at the front or the back. So if the fill is set to the front, that's the one you're formatting. If the stroke is set to the front, that is the function that you're formatting. So if I want to put a, you'd never use an 8-point, but if I wanted to put a big thick line around it, I would bring my stroke to the front and change the color. I would change, if I wanted to do, change the fill color, bring it to the front. So think in terms of layers. Does that make sense to everybody as far as being able to change your fill and your stroke?
Yeah.
Okay. If you'll notice in that little upper right-hand corner, there's a little toggle. You can swap the 2 colors really quick. And it's the same over here on the left-hand side on the tools. Swap fill and stroke. Okay. So this is a what that I have selected, this big red box. This is a what?
An object.
This is an object. What is the fill of this object? Look over on the swatches. What's the fill?
Red.
Traditional red. What's the stroke? Anybody?
Black.
You are correct. So this is an object. The content of this object is currently nothing or unassigned. The fill, which is the color, is set to traditional red. The stroke is set to black. Okay. If I want to change the thickness of the stroke line, okay, there are two options. Remember I talked about in the window menu? There is a stroke palette, the same way that there's a swatches palette. It's probably over on the left-hand side showing. If not, every toolbar and palette is located in the window drop-down menu. You can go to window and then stroke, and this gives you where you can change the stroke weight. By the way, you would never put a 20-point stroke on anything. The largest one you would probably ever do would be 1, but for illustration purposes, I want you to be able to see it. So you can change the stroke weight. There are different types of strokes. Thick, double thick line, thick and thin, dashes, dots, white diamond. You can make a page as ugly as you want or as awesome as you want.
That's time for them, the class time, so they gotta go.
Okay, all right. Here's what I want everybody to do. I want you to just hit save on your page. What time does this class end right now? 12:30?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Go ahead and hit save on your page. And then I want you to just close out the X on the InDesign file. And then what we'll do is on our next session, what we'll do is we'll work on text and placing photos and then putting designs on the page. Perfect. Does that work?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, just throw something on my calendar and we'll get it taken care of. Is your meeting time pretty much the same every day?
Yeah.
Okay.